Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for our final game of this best of 5 grand final between Team Dog and TNC Predator. It's MLP johnxfire once again, John. I do indeed need to wear this costume one last time. But I am dedicated, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Mike. Game 5! The mythical Game 5 makes its appearance after 4 seasons. Finally do make it all the way till the end. Team Dog, TNC, really closely matched here. Of course, TNC did manage to pull off the last game. A few missteps there from Team Dog, especially in Abed. Just surprising. Especially that play on the bot lane where he zipped along, didn't realize his TP was in cooldown. Was even called out by Gabby for doing that. So
He was sleepy, John.
he's living up to the name a bit. He's looking
Yeah?
for a bed right now. It is getting slightly late. You know, they've played a long time. Does take a toll. So this is the time where both teams need to shake it off. It's a best of one. That's all you need to think about. It's a best of one. Pull out your best. No stops here. We're gonna have to see how the draft changes. TNC does get the start with the Tim's Marana.
Great
as is
start.
standard for them. And it's already a nice time. Team Dog got to think about what they want here. But, of course, with the Tim's Marana, does mean that you're not under any threat for a pause for Shadow Shaman. So they might consider the Storm down the line here as well. Although, maybe you need to pick something less intensive for Abed if he's feeling a bit sleepy there.
5 seconds.
We'll see. I have a feeling they won't be going back towards the Spectre, as it did feel very, very weak that game, I've got to say. Instead, they start off with an Ogre Magi to get things started here for Team Dog. So very, very different. We haven't seen this at all today. I think the Ogre is still quite powerful in and of its own right, especially with the, Bloodlust is always kind of just good.
10
The Shards upgrade is kind of interesting. You get that flame shield or whatever, the flame guard, whatever they call it. I don't think it's really worth getting, per se, in a pro game, but it definitely is quite interesting. It does block out a fair bit of damage. So you never know. Maybe if they're feeling a bit feisty, they will go into the shards and see how they can make that work out. TNC, though, back to their own pick. Just judging by how they've been drafting, they have been kind of going for the support duo in the first 2 picks. So you'd imagine this should be the Febby hero coming out. He won't have the Titan, nor will he have the Undying to go to, but he does have the Enchantress if he wants to play that. Instead, TNC Predator, they do go into the Clockwork, which is something a little bit different.
Definitely is. We haven't seen too much of the clock since the patch. Does come back out here. Looks like Febby is going to play it. Does allow for some setup for your Marana, and of course it is still rather hard to play against in lane. Despite the changes, you've got an interesting shard, which I don't reckon is a direct pickup, especially in a pause 5, but we'll see if Febby will prioritize it. Team Dog, Ogre Magi opening opens up a lot of possibilities. We might even just see the Faces Void pickup straight off the bat for In Your Dream, as you've got this natural steroid in the Ogre Magi. One of the only reasons you pick that up so early, in fact, is to enable a Void pickup to really work. TNC, if the Void does come out, with a Marana Clock, you don't have something like the Venge for swap unless you go Core Venge. You don't have the Oracle for saves or disarms. You don't really have room for the Shaker as well, unless KP wants to play it off, but we haven't seen a Core Shaker in a long time. So Team Dog could easily go into that Faces Void if they want to. That will force TNC to ban Faces Void combinations down the line as well if they do go. But they go with the Troll instead, so going back to the safety net for In Your Dream. Back and forth series, trading that hero around, and whoever picks it up seems to find some success with it.
I mean, you've got to admit the Troll does seem very, very powerful right now. You wouldn't really think Troll into Spectre would be that great, but they made it look easy. That game number 4. Did take them a while to get the job done, but even in game 3, we saw In Your Dream dominating the Troll Warlord as well. So it does indeed appear that this Troll is the secret to success right now in this grand final. That being said, a very early Troll Warlord pick is going to mean that TNC will be able to just kind of figure out whatever they want in that pos 1 role to kind of counter out this Troll a little bit. And I am very curious to see what TNC's idea is here up against that Troll, as they haven't really found the answer towards it yet. But again, I think being this early on is going to probably be... It's probably going to mean a good time for TNC in trying to find an answer.
10 seconds.
I think when it comes to core matchups, there's not much the troll really
5
hates.
seconds.
The one that comes into mind is something like the OD, because you don't have the supports. Shadow Demon would have been nice to counteract. We saw TNC try that last time. The OD is one of the only things that really comes into mind that the troll doesn't enjoy, but OD's changes have made him
That's
really, really, at least in
Turn
pubs,
to ban.
terrible, a non-hero. So I don't think it's a feasible option into the troll. You do see TNC respect banning a couple of nice heroes here. The Afu Earth Spirit taken out, the Abed Storm Spirit taken out, to I think the relief of Abed. As again, it does require so much attention. Abed maybe drifting off a bit.
Gotta
Still,
wake up, John.
you've got to see what
5
definitely
seconds
chug some
remaining.
monster down. Just pump it straight into the
That's what
bloodline
you
there
need.
for Abed. Absolutely, but still.
Turn
You
to
see the Doom banned out here by Team Dog, so again, taking out one of the potential mid or off lanes for TNC. Got to see what they shape up here. Afu hero probably going to be picked up. No signature Earth Spirit, so options are not as wide as you'd want here for Afu.
No, they are not. Team Dog,
seconds.
third pickup. Probably going to be a position 4 pickup here for Team Dog.
5 seconds.
I wonder
remaining.
what they are looking towards. They don't have the Earth Spirit this time around, so you can't really give Afu that kind of hero. I mean, there's so many options to take here for Afu. It's just dependent on what he really feels like playing. You'd have to be slightly cautious. Of course, going into the Clockwork Mirana can be slightly painful if you do choose the wrong kind of position 4. But I've got to say, with the Ogre Magi, you're not going to care so much about this this support duo of the TNC Predator.
Dyer's
A lot of reserve time being used, but they do go into the Tiny, which we haven't seen a lot of. It does finally pop out.
Yeah, it's a strong bursty pause 4. Afu has played this a lot, especially in the times we've watched him in China, which was a long time back now. It feels like forever since we've seen that,
10
but
seconds
Afu can deliver in the Tiny. Solid pause 4 to have. His lane partner is going to be an important one here, so we'll have to see what Ice is going to take along with this. You would want something that can play with the aggression, can play with a repositioning and burst. Tiny does bring out TNC on their part. Do have ample room here. Go into the Brewmaster for KP, so they're pulling out all the stops as well. And KP's got to show up here. He's playing against Ice. Ice is what I consider the Brewmaster King, because of how trolly he is. So we've got to see KP live up to it. Of course, he's already played a Brewmaster today, and we have seen the effect of it. It is highly disruptive. We didn't even get to see the Ags upgrade and the Ags Shard as well. So we'll have to see if KP gets space to build that up. But there's so much potential with his hero, with what he has received in this patch, that it's fairly exciting to see it back here.
No, I would say so, and you've got 2 offlaners that really like that Brewmaster, and I would agree that Ice is more known for the Brewmaster, if anything, but KP is also extremely well known for playing Brewmaster extremely well. Still Team Dog, they'll go into their 4th pickup now. You are still looking for that Arbit hero, which I imagine is going to be the pickup here for the side of Team Dog. He doesn't have the Storm, he doesn't have the Void Spirit. He does have Ember, if he wants to run that over the other spirits. But that's really his only option if we are going down the Spirit route. Of course, he could go into a cheeky Magnus pickup, but that hasn't seemed so popular in the new patch. And he does indeed go back to the Ember Spirit. Just can't get enough of those spirits.
Nope, can't really. It's too addictive. He loves the mobility. He loves playing on the edge. All the spirits are just those kinds of heroes, right? Really rewards good mechanical play. TNC go back into the Morphling here. So again, they just want to find a smooth ride into the win. And Gabby's Morphling is something they've always relied on in the past. So it does come out once more. Makes me wonder if they're going to go for, say, our Mel Morph and the Gabby Wind Ranger to close it out. Potentially there. Team Dog should ban out the Wind Ranger just to be safe, I would say. Don't even bother. Don't even try to have that headache on your hand. Just take it out.
Is there any other combinations you can think of the top of your head with the Morphling for TNC? Because I feel like Team Dog have kind of figured out the Wind Ranger morph already. I'm not sure if Team Dog are that concerned about it. I mean, it's annoying.
Other strong
for sure.
combos.
10 seconds.
Nothing on hand, really. Like the ET, but you don't have room for it. Other cores that the Morphling would like. Not much. I mean, you could try terribly to give Metamorphosis to yourself, but that sounds pretty darn greedy. You've got magic damage already for Team Dog. So
Yep.
probably not a pickup for TNC. I'd say right now, if they're not going to go for it, maybe something like a Kunkka is in the pool, has not been picked up today for TNC, so Armel must be itching to play his favorite captain. And would be nice. Buffs up your Brewmaster, makes him really tanky, makes him Morphling really tanky. You've got the X to play with up against the Ember. So if Team Dog don't ban out the Kunkka, I think it could come in.
I need to correct you there, John. He's not a captain, he's an admiral. Very, very big difference, so how dare you. Read up on your lore.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
TNC.
I was just thinking he's a captain of a ship, but he does have a ghost fleet.
Right.
So, yeah.
Admiral of the fleet.
It is Radiant's
Yep.
man.
Bloodseeker does get banned out by TNC, so they are still obviously just focusing in on those Ice heroes. They've left the Enigma there. Now, I don't think Ice is going to want to play it again for a third time, but you never really know. And TNC, they're going to go into an Invoker pickup here for Armel. Something very, very different.
You've got potential here. You've got Hookshot, Cog, Sunstrike potentially coming in. You've got the team fight coming in for your Invoker with the Brewmaster Brewlings causing havoc. You've got that on hand. You've got Alacrity on the Morphling. That's a big one. That should allow your Morphling to really hit like a truck. And we have seen TNC actually play around that combination before. So a solid pickup. Not the one I expected. I feel like the Kunkka might have tied this draft a bit better. We'll have to see how Armel manages the Ember Spirit mid. A lot of back and forth can happen there.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it worked once, it failed the second time, and we're going back to it. I suppose up against Gabby's Morphling, maybe he just feels like he can do the exact same thing, which is just deny out a bunch of creeps. I think the Morph should feel maybe slightly safer in being able to secure CS. Gabby is indeed going to be on the safe lane as the Morphling. I don't know, John, 5th game of this grand final. Who do you think has the upper hand with these drafts?
Tricky to say. Like, Ice back in the Enigma. This is a comfier game for the Troll to really dance around. I would actually give TNC a slight edge. Gabby Morphling coming back. Brewmaster for KP. Tim's Mirana. So many comfort picks coming out here. I think it's really potent for them if they do get the running start. They've got good ways to clear out the Eidolons as well. With Armel, especially once he gets levels up. So the Tornado coming through should be able to melt those summons, give some free farm to Armel. His mid lane matchup against Ember is not too bad as well. We've seen Invokers kind of hang steady there, and it should be an even enough lane. Perhaps Abed will look to get itchy and try to find a kill, but I feel like they are a little bit more stronger here on the side of TNC. So I'm going to have to favor that. I think Gabby Morphling has delivered so many times. You don't quite have anything to stop the regen coming through as well on the side of Team Dog, so that's always going to be a consistent issue.
See how it does pan out. This is the last game of this grand final. Either team could take this grand final for themselves, and it'd be a very, very nice way to finish off your year. Just being able to say, yeah, I won the last SCA tournament before the year did end. Obviously put yourself on a kind of a good track for the DPC. Because for Team Dog, it's not like the team's going to be together for the DPC. You did point it out earlier, but it is, you know, essentially EG plus 3 stand-ins right now for Team Dog. For TNC, though, if they were to win this grand final, they'd be feeling very, very good. And John, it's time for you to get translating. What the hell is Gabby saying?
Oh, Gabby's saying, are we just going to go straight? I think he's asking straight mid. Abed's like, yep. Gabby. Zapata's gonna, it's like, he's a shoe. You're a shoe. Get ready. I have no clue what they're saying anymore. Straight in. Abed's like, yes. You're a shoe. Tim's. Tim's saying that his shoes also slip out. His shoes will also run away. And Abed saying, the champion will treat everyone. All right. So.
All right.
Yeah. Libre. Say it, Mike. Libre naman. Say that.
What is it? Libre naman.
Yes, something like that. Libre naman. Palibre naman. Say that.
What does it mean, though?
Just, you're asking for a treat from the winner. That's what they're saying in chat as well. They want, you know, whoever wins, you gotta get treated. Maybe some Jollibee would be nice, you know?
So,
maybe a whole pack of monsters. Yes. That's exactly it.
Right,
now you know what to say. When you meet a new Filipino friend, Tell them to say, you say that to their face at lunchtime. They're gonna have a good laugh at you. Trust me.
Well, I don't want them to laugh at me, John. It's not a
No,
very
they'd be
good.
like, "Oh, hey, he knows how to ask for stuff. Excellent.
They'll be
He's
like,
my kind of guy."
This homeless person's asking us for food right now. That's what they're gonna say when they look at me, John. Have you seen my Santa costume? I don't exactly look very wealthy. I'll tell you that. I look like a drunk Santa on a very bad Christmas Eve. But libre no man. I got you, John.
There you go.
Thank you for that,
Love it.
Jonathan. KP going to be chased down already down that bot lane in your dream, and Paulison chase KP down and make it as hard as humanly possible for this man to be able to get any farm in. Because again, on this Troll Warlord, you feel so confident in the laning stage because it is one of those cores that can just dominate a lane basically on his own. Paulison's just kind of going to be there for for mental support. Just being very supportive, cheerleading, zoning out KP even more. Doing a great job of it as well, Paulison.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow lane for KP. Already trading unfavorably. This is a smooth start for In Your Dream, and you've got to find a way to correct this for TNC. Tim's, I mean, he's trying to just be as disruptive as possible, but it's so hard to trade favorably with an Ogre Magi, so they're going to find a lot more. Down mid, though, you are seeing Armel go off to a slower start here on his Invoker. 3-0 so far, Abed up at 7-1. Tornado misses, and this is where it gets a bit dicey. Like, early levels for Invoker are hard to sustain, so Armel just needs to stay safe, maybe until the level 4 mark, when his orbs will allow him to regen through a bit better, but Abed is going to look to play aggressive before then, and try to maximize this early spike the Ember does have over the Invoker.
Absolutely. Be a nice lane for Abed. It already has started off very, very effectively for him. Of course, up at that top lane as well, we do have Febby on that pos 5 clockwork. He'll be there along with Gabby on the Morphling, and you have Ice for the 3rd time in a row on the Enigma. And, he's going to be there with Arfu on the Tiny. Last game around, we didn't really see too much out of the Enigma. I do wonder this time whether Ice will be a bit more effective, I want to argue. So he was doing a great job in lane, but I suppose the game just went so slowly after that you never really saw any kind of black hole being thrown out, nor did you see a team fight. So I'm sure Ice wants a more active game than last game around as well.
Yeah, I think he's got to reconsider whether or not he wants to rush the Blink. That's the big issue from last time. He went for the Blink. They couldn't really maximize it beyond, what, 2 black holes at that period? Maybe even just 1 in the direct period since the Blink. So I think if Ice wants to play the slower game, it should definitely be that mech buildup. We'll see what he'll opt for. So far, though, Gabby not really dissuaded at all. Beyond all the nice Ice is finding, Gabby's still finding some steady farm regardless. And you are just having the supports play tag. Afu and Febby just poking each other here. No one really going to be able to find any sort of kill, though. If Afu cops some hits, it would be bad, but Battery Assault already faded.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. Mid lane, Abed's still doing very, very good, but Armel has slowly caught himself up in terms of CS. Only just about 2 CS behind now. He's feeling a bit better about himself on this Invoker. So it is a bit of a concern not being able to pressure Abed out like you were the last game, but I suppose you can only do so much. TNC will just have to kind of stick with the game plan with this Invoker for now. It's up at the top lane. Febby is going to go on to Ice, but Ice eventually is going to be able to get away, spawn more Eidolons, and keep denying creeps away from Gabby. Because he's going to be very low in terms of HP, but Gabby doesn't have the waveform anyway. So he can't really try and go for an initiation onto this Enigma. Just continue trying to focus in on that farm. However, Arfu now going to come in from the side. Can he find an avalanche toss? There are a lot of creeps around. He needs the full combination. He's going to throw the avalanche and the toss out now, and Gabby is eventually going to die. Ice is going to be the one to take the kill on the Enigma.
Yeah, it's a big pickup there for Ice that does set his lane up really nicely. A good injection of gold onto the Enigma. A good amount of EXP as well. And Gabby at the least managed to buy out his Morbid Mask earlier, but this is definitely not the start you're looking for from a Morphling. So they're going to have to try to hold out, maybe get Febby and zoning out more, but this is not smooth as well for Febby.
Oh, Febby. Oh, he pops a salve. It's going to give him the time to get out. But he is going to be stuck in the lane on very low HP, which means he's going to have to run back anyway. So he denies the golden XP away, but he kind of sacks his own laning stage. He'll have to walk his way back. In the meantime, Gabby was trying to get a bit more aggressive onto Ice, but it's not really going to work out. Ice is going to be just fine. And every other lane is still going pretty pleasantly for both teams. But it does seem like the main factor right now is In Your Dream, on the Troll, who is once again free farming. 35 and 10, way ahead of anyone else in terms of CS. This might be a pretty big cause of concern for TNC.
Yeah, they're not gonna have a good time if In Your Dream gets that smooth ramp into his Battle Fury. So you will have to watch how much space you're giving this Troll. There's not much KP can do. I mean, he's trying to be disruptive, but In Your Dream doesn't care. You mentioned a range for him. You can just juggle that around. You've got enough space that Paulson can just walk around the map, start to get a couple of stacks off, start to help out securing these power runes, and oh, Armel.
Mid lane, Armel trying to go onto Arbed. Arbed does manage to secure the top power room, which was an invis. Still Paulson actually running into this mid lane. I'm not sure about that, Paulson. Bit aggressive there, and it will cost him his life.
Just as I expected.
Not sure what the ID was for our Ogre, just getting a bit too excited. Meanwhile, top lane, Ice also gonna die. Gabby able to secure that kill, but Arfu gonna try and go for the trade. Gabby is strength morphing, however, and should be able to eventually get out unless he runs out of strength. And Febby, he tried to go for the cogs pushback, but unfortunately locks Gabby in, and I suppose he was dead either way. There was really no getting out there for Gabby, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, it's a valiant attempt. That does balance out a bit there for Ice, and they might get Febby as well.
They may. Arfu is a bit low on mana, but he will pop the mango. Febby gonna get fire blasted up, and that should mean that supports of the Radiant side will be able to finish off this position 5 clockwork. And now Gabby's gonna be pressured. Ice not at that level 6 mark yet. Mel going to be forced to rotate in with the EMP Tornado. It is going to land on both heroes, and Arfu going to be targeted. He'll turn around for an avalanche, but that's all he can do, as he will eventually die to Armel on the Invoker. Nice little rotation out, slowing down the push attempt and pretty much stopping it up at that top lane.
Yeah, they do have space to go onto In Your Dream. This is a risky spot here.
Yeah, he does pop the battle trance to try and survive this one out. He's got to turn back around though and go back onto Tims, but he's not life-stealing quite enough, and KP has plenty of control to make sure Tims does not die. Very nice stuff there from TNC. It's going to make it a 3-1 now. Slight net worth lead for this Radiant side. Even the mid lane, a bit of action going on now. Armel going to be chased down by Arbed, but the EMP not going to be dodged down. Still, Armel is dropping to the Flame Guard damage and should eventually just die, but no, Febby, a great cogs pushback. Paulson is still going to find Armel, but now the Ghost Walk is there. Perfect timing from Febby, saving his mid Invoker, and now poor old Arfu's going to suffer. He will go down to Tims.
Just timely punishment coming out from TNC. Starting to pay off. Armel really pulling ahead here compared to Abed, at least catching up considering that slower start. Abed does have some stacks to go back into, but losing your pause 4 like that is not a good time. You want Afu to find this blink quick. Every single death he takes is going to slow down that blink. So you are trading off a couple of opportunities there on the side of Team Dog. The one big advantage they have right now, again, is looking back at that bot lane. In Your Dream, despite being solo, despite dying once solo, is still top in last hits, is still top in net worth, so his Battle Fury timing is still going to be met at a really fast pace, and Gabby just cannot measure up. And Morphling is just struggling up top consistently. He still needs some relief. Maybe he needs to start considering that jungle, as the pressure is really affecting his efficiency here on the map.
On bot lane, the pressure is going to begin now from TNC. KP going to get started on that tier 1 tower. Top lane, Gabby is free farming very nicely on that Morphling. He is very far behind in terms of net worth, so he's just catching up. In fact, now they're going to try and go maybe with the black hole, but no, it won't be forced out. While that's happening though, bot lane, In Your Dream does end up going down. Febby able to pick up the kill on the clockwork.
And that's a big one. They're slowing down In Your Dream's timing into the Battle Fury, so they've managed to find the right time to apply pressure. Gabby makes the rotation down bot as well, abandoning the top lane. Looks like it is time to go for those tier 1 tower trades. Of course, Ice can get that done by himself. but you did have to sacrifice your troll, so you do have to watch out. A very good set of aggressive moves from TNC. A 3-6 now at the 10-minute mark. Still lagging a bit behind in terms of net worth, but not by much. The biggest outlier is only Gabby, but once you take this tier 1 bot, Gabby should have some space in the bot jungle to play farm.
That he should. The top lane does finally have its tower taken out. Arbed is going to defend the bottom tier 1 tower, while Gabby will try to fight with him just a little bit. Very hard to fight with the morph, as he does have that strength morph, always to his advantage. Meanwhile, in the dire jungle, Armel and Febby are going to rotate. Moonlight Shadow will be popped defensively, but they are going to try and get aggressive. Febby is going to scout out Arfu and Ice just in the back lines, and even in your dream now going to get spotted out. And well, TNC, of course, can't fight that one out with 2 heroes. They're just going to have to let them walk away.
Yeah, it's not too much being found here. Just the time to sit back and farm, build up, try to build up on your heroes. You do have the power treads up, and Gabby, he still is going for that tier 1 bot. Does fall. So he's got that space he wants for himself, but the mid is being pressured here from the side of Team Dog.
Chains out on Tim's, but it's only going to be for a split second. Tim's just going to try and delay this as much as humanly possible. Could be too easy, but now he has help coming in. Febby will go for the hook shot onto Paulson with the arrow follow-up, and it looks like this ogre will die. Meanwhile, Arbed going to try and chase down Tim's. Will run into him and does connect the chains, but Arbed is getting very low and will not be able to stick around to try and finish off the kill. So they lose Paulson. They do not get that mid-tier 1 tower. It is still standing and pretty darn healthy. I think TNC will probably be happier dragging out the game longer with this Morphling than, say, the side of Team Dog will be.
I think it's a bit of a weird back and forth. It takes a while for the Morphling to catch up to the farm that you're seeing on this troll. In your dream, once he has this Battle Fury, it's going to escalate a little bit faster, and that's something that TNC need to be aware of. So if they want to play the late game, the Morphling does scale nicely, but they need to shut down that troll, and they are smoked up. Looks like they've got the same idea here.
Yeah, Paulson, not really the target they wanted to start on, but they'll have to settle. Still, Ice is TPing in with the black hole. He might go for it, but Febby, a nice cogs, making sure that Ice does not have a path. They will get one. Still, Febby now going to be in danger. Hook shot not going to land on Armel. Just wanted a hook shot away, but it is not going to work out. Still, Armel pops the drums to try and help him out. It is not going to be enough. It will end up being a 1-for-1 on both position 5s. That's pretty much it. Both teams, once again, just going to back out. They don't really find the opportunity they were looking for.
Yeah, just rather unfortunate, but Team Dog will count their lucky stars that they only lose their Ogre. It's not a big loss at all for the side of Dog. TNC are making space out for Gabby, so he is given a lot of free room to just build up. He is saving up for the Manta into shotgun build here. So as long as he's not contested like he was in lane, should be a smooth ramp into that point. Moonlight Shadow once more. Ice is vulnerable up top.
Yeah, he is. Cold Snap EMP is going to fly out, and Febby is going to be there with the Battery Assault. With the arrow also out, Armel will happily take the kill with the Tornado. A very valuable pickup there for TNC.
You're the last you'll hear.
Team Dog, at least for now, don't really have much of an answer. They're just kind of biding their time, allowing In Your Dream to keep this farm up. Of course, Arvid is still working towards that Spirit Vessel as well, so they don't really want to go without that. In the meantime, they will have to watch Ice die. But it seems like they're happy to just trade his life away if it means In Your Dream can farm towards the Battle Fury.
Yeah, they are just prioritizing that troll. It's always Ice in the risky lanes. He does have his mech up, so despite dying, his timings are still being met well. Going to be going into the BKB build on that Enigma. And overall, despite those stats, the timing is still pretty on point. So not slowing down too much. Pulled some decent farm distribution out from Team Dog, but they are lagging slightly behind. So TNC take the slight net worth lead. Still a good spike coming out here. The Spirit Vessel up on Abed really early on, along with a Battle Fury up. Spirit Vessel does mean they can start to make moves on Gabby if they wanted to.
They're going to give it a crack. 15-minute bounty runes are going to be there. KB not going to go in after it. It was a very, very dangerous time to go for it as well. Big smoke up though. 3 heroes from Team Dog going to start moving their way into the mid lane. They do spot out Tim's. Maleficus is going to be there from Ice, but I think they want a bit more than the Mirana. They're going to head down towards the southeast where they'll find Gabby on the Morphling.
The dire stand on the hunt for radiant forces.
Gabby, a lot of danger here.
Has been denied.
Avalanche is going to be out. He's already started strength morphing, but the vessel is going to be there from Arbed, and the chains don't actually land. They do still keep going on to that morph. Gabby is still alive as he will turn back around now. Back onto Arfu. He has help coming in from TNC. Arfu is set to fall, but he goes for another avalanche. Looks like he will go down eventually. Meanwhile, the Ogre, Paulson, also going to drop to the tornado of Armel. Ice, he's trying to find a black hole initiation, but he is not going to get any of it. The battery assault is there from Bebby, and he just can't find an angle. Very, very tough stuff right now for Team Dogs. Even Arbed been pushed back by the Cogs, but he'll turn back around onto Armel. Ghostwalk is going to be there. Arbed waiting for that sleight of fist, but is not going to be able to really throw it out. He'll just keep playing around. He does have a sentry there for Armel, but Armel is not low enough in terms of HP, and Arbed, well, he's wasted all his remnants. He does get out, but they were waiting. They knew exactly where he was going. Tim's able to take the kill on the Mirana. And another great team fight out for TNC Predator.
Yeah, they're really starting to build up a lead now in TNC. 4-13. Team Dog just throwing bodies out, stalling out for their troll. Even Abed's farm is starting to be impacted. The lead is starting to be noticeable. Ice, and Abed trailing behind even KP's Brewmaster. And Armel is allowed to farm up really well. He's got the Orchid up along with his drums. So the Invoker can take a lot more of an active role here early on while they are buying the space out for Gabby, which has been paying off. That was Team Dog trying to reveal the Spirit Vessel. They lose all the charges on Abed. That means they're going to need to find a pick-off before they can try that again on Gabby.
Absolutely. Armel might even spot out in your dream here on this troll. With that Orchid, they could definitely try to go for this kill. Baby going to spot him out now, does have the hook shot, doesn't use it yet. In your dream, going to pop the battle trance to go onto the clock. They silence the troll up. Arrow going to fly through as well from Tim's, landing perfectly on that troll warlord. He's not dead yet, but Bebby is going to be there to just hold him in place. They do take him out with the EMP. Arbed will come in and take down Bebby on the clockwork, but it's nowhere near worthwhile for Team Dog to lose your POS 1 like that for a position 5 clockwork. And TNC, again, just finding the better end of the deal.
Yeah, they're just extremely glad with that set of events coming out for them. TNC just always finding the punishment out here. Their movement has been a lot more worthwhile as well. They've got some major spikes coming out here. Tim's already has his Yules for his arrow setup. They're just meeting all their power beats, and in fact...
Arrow, going to be blocked off there by Arfu. He's trying to save the Dane. He actually does. Arbed able to get himself out at the cost of Arfu's life. Great little save there, though, from Arfu. Had that arrow connected, Arbed would have almost guaranteed just be dead. Take the Tiny instead. Still TNC smelling blood in the water. We'll go into that triangle, and Armel runs straight into In Your Dream. He gets the silence off with the Orchid. Tim's looking for an arrow, is going to land it in the end. And this troll, can he survive? Not quite. He gets the Whirling Axes off, but it is not going to be anywhere near enough. And they even kill off Paulson on the Ogre. It's a 5-17 now. TNC with a 4k net worth lead, and with these 2 heroes dead, they can rush for the Roshan pit.
Yeah, they've got that Alacrity now on Gabby, so he can just machine gun the Roche. They do get a scan out, but it's a fairly obvious Roche. Ice has no angle to go in for a black hole play, so it's just going to go. You can't get the response in time here from the side of Team Dog. Going to be another big take for TNC, and it should allow them to constantly force these fights. They still have split if they need it. They still have Gabby relatively healthy, and they just have control. Team Dog, just the best they can do is avoid and try to farm up or catch a straggler off.
Looking at Gabby in that mid lane, Arfu and Arbed are there, but Febby and Armel going to run straight into them. In fact, they didn't spot them out. Febby still hanging around. Armel seems to have found Ice. They want to try and go after the Enigma. He has help coming from the backside. The hook shot is not going to land either. And now In Your Dream can try to go after the Invoker, but he does not. Instead, they'll start a team fight onto Tim's. They do try for the Mirana, but he does get the Yules off in time. Still the chains is going to be there from Abed, and he is going to remnant out. Onto Paulison, he's going to be okay for now. Meanwhile, on the left side, they are going after the Clockwork, but In Your Dreams come in now after the clock. It looks like they will get him. The black hole out from Ice as well, catching out Armel. They don't have quite enough to kill him off. The Ice War held them back, and now Gabby going back in on the Morphling. Wants that Enigma and Ice. He's going to drop. Gabby's got a triple kill out in this Morph so far. Onto In Your Dream they go. This should be the Ultra kill. In fact, never mind, Armel will take the kill for himself. But now with this Brewmaster split, they'll try onto Abed, but he will remnant away. But that'll be your mid-tier 1 tower going down now for Team Dog. And, well, this draft for Team Dog is not working out in this game number 5. Not so far anyway.
No, it's sort of falling apart. 6k lead for TNC. In Your Dream loses his net worth advantage. He's barely keeping up now with KP. This is not the position you want your troll on. Everyone else on the side of Team Dog is starting to lag behind as well. Abed just not able to utilize this Spirit Vessel to its full potential. And Ice still waiting for the BKB. So until you get this BKB on Ice, his black holes are just not going to be as big as you'd want them to be. And TNC just constantly abuse that. They just don't have any major spots to wait for beyond the split. Everyone else just can keep running at the side of Team Dog, and Team Dog just do not have the appropriate response ready. Like, they just don't have those key items you'd expect, and Your Dream needs so much more time to farm up. He's saving up for his own BKB, but the map is starting to shrink here for the side of Team Dog.
Oh, it certainly is, John, and shrinking very, very quickly. Bevy and KP going to Moonlight Shadow up into the mid lane, and they'd love to get a pick off on this Ember Spirit. Abed has only died once this game, but Tim's right next to him as well. Still Arfu going to come in from the backside, but it won't matter. They got the arrow off. Abed is silenced, but the Tornado is going to give him time, but not enough time. KP will be able to take the kill. And while they killed off Abed, you've got the shotgun now up on Gabby, and he's rushing for Ice in the Radiant base. He looks to blow him up, and he does. Oh, TNC. This game number 5, they are looking very, very strong. Arfu, Avalanche Toss, not going to be enough, just barely. Gabby, he'll survive, and Arfu is going to die. A double kill out, and now they're onto the tier 3 tower. TNC, they may have done it, John. 12k net worth lead. First lane of Barracks going to go the way of the Dire. Tims will go in for a Yule Scepter onto the Ogre, but Paulison does have the Eidolon to block off the arrow, but it won't matter. Gabby, a godlike spree already on this Morph. And with this alacrity from the Invoker, of course he can push that much quicker. But it's only going to be one lane of racks. They do back off. An immediate smoke up. They want this game done ASAP, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they are just hungry. They sense the weakness in Team Dog. They know Team Dog's playing from behind. This is not something Team Dog is ever comfy with. We've seen them in this situation before, and every time they lose the lead, it just kind of collapses.
Abed going to remnant away. In Your Dream, barely getting away. Armel right next to him, but didn't have the vision. What's Dota Plus thinking right now, John? Oh, geez, 98%.
Woo!
That's I mean, I can't necessarily disagree, because it does feel like the Troll is just going to drop off way quicker than the Morph will. And Gabby is currently 4.5k ahead of In Your Dreams Troll. See if they can make a big comeback here, Team Dog, but it is looking rather rough for them.
It really is. A lot is hanging off the back of Ice now. Getting in position to maximize this BKB with a good black hole. The issue is he doesn't have a blink, so he's going to have to walk up with the BKB and hope for the best. And it just hasn't been happening. If he doesn't get the angle, the fight really does collapse. So you have to be careful here, Team Dog, as TNC, they're still hungry. They've still got spells to play with. They're not scared.
No, they are not. Moonlight Shadow is there. Arbet is going to be the one to be focused. No, they go after In Your Dream straight off the bat. Ice though. There's your black hole. It's only on one. Gabby's going to waveform through the back lines. They got Arthur on the Tiny. They did not get anyone on the side of TNC. Sunstrike on In Your Dream. He'll battle trance and try and survive through this, but it is not looking good. He's been tornadoed up and Gabby will just stand his ground. He does not respect the troll whatsoever. Now Ice also caught on the Enigma. And there you go. The GG's called. TNC Predator, after 5 games, will be able to get the BTS Pro Series Season 4 win underneath their belts. And that is a very nice way to finish off this year if you are TNC Predator.
Definitely. They managed to get a great win for themselves after sort of struggling the past few tournaments. We haven't seen them win out just yet in any single one, but they do manage to hold it steady here. They are back in top form with Coach Febby playing in for them. And they do manage to secure a really strong... Yeah, the Ducks come out. The Dogs apparently are not enough. And
whoa. Hold on a minute. We're not casting EU now. Our admin's getting a little bit excited. Like, hold on a minute. 5 games wasn't enough for you guys. Get back in here.
Oh, yeah. Still. Zax, stop it.
Please,
stop it, Zax.
We've had enough.
Getting kicked. Still, great performance route from Teams TNC. Big props to them, Team Dog. Look, you know, everyone had high hopes for Team Dog, but we have to point it out. These guys were just, it's another stack. You know, it's like the Among Us team. They were just a stack that formed from players with no teams yet. Same thing here with Team Dog. They make it all the way to the finals, and they make themselves look really good. So despite the circumstances, they go the distance. They couldn't close it out, but going this far already is an achievement for these guys.
Well, with that, John, should we switch over to the camera and say our goodbyes to the lovely viewers out there that are watching?
Oh, yes.
Make sure you have your glasses on, John. There you go. Well, with that, that is it for tonight. Of course, BTS Pro Series 4, the final tournament of SEA, I believe, is now done. 2020 is thankfully also about done, John. Very, very good news indeed. I hope you enjoyed yourself, John. You got any final words to say before we head off?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all of you viewers for tuning in, for supporting us. If you like the cast, if you haven't yet followed us, follow me and Mike at MLP Dota on Twitter, at johnxfire as well. We're on Facebook. It's MLP Dota for Mike and johnxfire.gaming for me on Facebook. If you want to reach out, if you got feedback, we're always responsive. We do try to respond and try to improve constantly. Would have to give some shout outs again to the fine folk who've been watching, people in chat.
Absolutely.
Mahal Kosi FY, I know you're there. A whole bunch of views. I can't recall. It's so late. We've got a couple of names have been requested again to shout out. So Brian Ocampo, John Jeffrey Concepcion, Shem, Jafet, Leon Nizo. Thank you for all your support. And the Madrazo brothers here in GCIS in Davao. But beyond that, again, once more, thank you for your support. It's been a long year. A lot of you guys have been watching me and Mike cast since the start of the year throughout Southeast Asia. It's been a wonderful time. And I guess all I can say now is Maligayang Pasko. And I don't know how to say Happy New Year, but Happy New Year as well coming up here, guys.
Indeed. Everyone enjoy 2021. Enjoy your Christmas holidays. Just happy holidays, I guess, for some people out there as well. It just doesn't matter. Just eat a lot. Maybe have a few drinks. Have some time with your family. Of course, John, we don't know where we're going to end up next year. The DBC is coming in, and I don't believe we are going to be part of SCA, unfortunately, but we'll find out. Nothing's set in stone. Till then, though, it is MLP Dota. It's John X Fire, and hopefully we'll see you in 2021. See you later.